What is up, evening smokers, afternoon inhalers, and AM hookah smokers? This is the AM Hookah Podcast with myself, your very humble host, Matt, and also my always wonderful co-host, Adrian. We are going to be joined, hopefully, very shortly by a third party. We're seeming to have some technical difficulties, and if you know anything about the AM Hookah show, then you know that we are number one when it comes to technical difficulties. So I apologize. I'm very thankful that you guys are sticking through and hanging out with us. If you are or waiting for the show to start, I'm very sorry for the late start that we're having, but we're going to have a good show. I know we are. It's more than likely, it's more than likely a problem with Google being googly, because Google does googly things. And what's up, Sid? How's it going? Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to be joined, hopefully, very shortly by Rob, Dude, Where's My Hookah on YouTube. But, okay, so let him know. We're going to go ahead and start. Yeah, thank you. Okay. But yeah, so I'm doing okay. Adrian, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, as usual, because I'm smoking and I'm chilling here on the podcast. I'm a little on edge because it appears that Rob's using Microsoft Edge as his browser, I just found out. But other than that, we're good.
Yeah, Rob, we need to get you Chrome, man. I think
Chrome.
Ready to go. Shoot, I wish we had a little bit longer and we would try to work out a couple of these weird oddities. Hey, what's up, J-Rock, Jessica? Hey, I got a question for you guys in the chat real quick before we get any further. Are you guys, obviously you're subscribed to the channel, but are you guys hitting on that bell icon? My question is, I'm just curious as to how many people that we have thus far who are not only subscribed to us, but they hit the bell icon so you know that the moment we go live, you'll be notified of that. So if you did hit that bell icon, let me know. I'm just kind of curious. I'm a nerd for like stats and stuff like that, and I'm doing my best to really work within the confines of Hangouts and deliver the best possible show to you guys. So let me know that information. Tristan says I'm here, getting coals ready for the Phoenix. Woo-woo. The Phoenix, the new HMD on the market. I'm not using the Phoenix right now. Mine's dirty. Adrian, are you using the Phoenix?
Absolutely not. I'm using foil and coals because I'm smoking Alfaker.
There you go. There you go. I do like your absolutely, though. That made me... Okay. Yes. I got a notification last night. Yes, I apologize. That's my fault. I do this thing where I set up the show and I get it ready to go. And then for some reason, I swear to you guys, I get it set up for Monday night. And sometimes it kicks over to that Sunday night when I'm setting it up for some reason. I don't know what the heck is the problem, but that does happen. So I do apologize greatly to you guys. So while we're waiting for Rob to kick in, before we get fully started, I want to know if you guys have some things you want to talk about. Tristan, you said you got the Phoenix. I'm curious, have you tried it yet? Or is this the first time that you're getting ready to try it? J-Rock, I appreciate the stuff that you're sending me through Instagram, brother. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, but I want to see you use that flying saucer bowl. I saw a picture of it. It does exist, but I want to see you setting it up, man. That's what I want to see. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, I think I said hello to you already, but Jessica, hopefully we have some exciting news surrounding all sorts of stuff coming up in the future, obviously. So if you guys have some stuff, what are you guys smoking? If you are smoking, Tristan, what are you getting ready to smoke? And I guess let's go ahead and go over our setups, because it looks like you're smoking out of KM.
I am. This isn't even my KM. It's
a sexy one. It's a black oxidized. Oh, give me a second. Black oxidized trimetal.
It is a black oxidized trimetal. I actually
yes.
This is a buddy of mine. His name's Cam. He works at the local Starbucks retail shop, and I'm borrowing it for some local work I'm doing here, demoing some flavors for some lounges.
Are you saying
I like this?
Not use Starbucks hookahs?
No, I'm not using Starbucks hookahs. I'm using the hookahs that belong to a gentleman who owns a Starbucks retail store. There's a difference.
Okay, I got you. That is something that's funny to say out loud, though. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Setups. You first.
Okay. Well, okay. Me first. I'm smoking a Mia hookah. Actually, I'm using the Mia Blaze stem with my trumpet Mia vase with I call it the Bob Blue Barker hose, because it reminds me of the Bob Barker hose that microphone that he would use when he talks. And I like that it's lipped right there. Got a lip. I like that. And I'm smoking a mix of Tangiers passion fruit with Lavu, double dark mint with mint citron as well. And it is kicking. I love it. It's so good. Tristan says, first time trying the Phoenix. I'm going to be smoking Berkuk cane mint. I want to know what you're using, Tristan. If you're using flats, use 4. If you're using cubes, squeeze as many as you can in there.
Use 10 cubes.
Yeah, and stack them.
What coals are you using, Matt?
I'm actually using 3. I'm smoking this pretty hot, actually. Believe it or not, I'm taking some advice from Adrian. All right, I'm trying maybe. Okay, I got to do something real fast. But I'm using 3 titanium flats in a Bambino bowl with the Provos.
Yes.
I'm smoking nice and warm right now. Good.
Is that your setup? Is that everything? Are you done talking yet?
I think I'm done talking. Tristan is using 4 cubes to heat it up, is what he says. And then Jessica I like when it's lipped too. I cannot disagree with that. And I don't know if you see this, but Tristan is using the Mason bowl. He's using a Mason bowl.
Hey, Tristan, you little shit. Put that down. It's a bad bowl. I'm just jealous because I don't have one. Okay, I'm going to tell you about my setup right now since
Hear about it.
Rob can't figure anything out because his computer's working against him. I've got, like he said, the KM Tri-Metal. It's oxidized. It's a pretty cool hookah. Just a standard KM bell base on the bottom. As far as the bowl, I'm actually using this really early on Alpaca Apache medium. And I'm using 3 charcoal flare flats to heat some Alfaker double apple. And then this hose right here is actually the Thunder Dark V2 hose. And then I put my mid-stylus hose on top of it because I like the handle better.
I like that your hose, while it is a modern hose, has that old school traditional flair to it, which fits super nicely in the black, obviously. It fits super nicely with the KM. Rob, here. Rob is joining us. All we got is your picture, man. That's fine. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Yes, we got him. Are you using headphones, Rob?
Yeah, everything should be set up. I don't know why my video's not showing up.
We got some weird reverb. It sounds like you have like the chorus pedal turned on. I know you're a guitar guy. Are you using a pedal? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm just in an open room.
Oh, okay. You sound open. That sounds like the room that I want to record some Sam Smith songs in.
You're so lame.
Rob, up in the top corner or up at the top of if you're using a web page, you should have some options. One of them should have a click on it, and you might be able to click that to turn your camera on. I don't know if that will work or not.
Not really seeing it. No, I'm on the settings tab.
All right. We'll have to maybe if you have a moment to check it out, you can check it out. We did start the show already without you. Sorry, Rob. We were trying to not kill any more time just because it's kind of a late start, obviously. Rob from Dude, Where's My Hookah is joining us for this awesome podcast. We appreciate you joining us so very much. We've already talked about what we're smoking a little bit. Maybe we can give you a quick rundown. But before that, what are you up to, man? Are you smoking right now?
Yeah, I loaded up everything. I figured everything would go smoothly. And, of course, technical difficulties. I'm smoking some Trifecta, the Twist, and Dirty Mint.
Very, very nice. I'm getting a little bit of a buzz at the moment, which doesn't happen very often. So I apologize for that. Let me see. I have J-Rock over here talking. He says that he is smoking Trifecta Lemon Mint with AF Watermelon Mint in an 80 feet 80 Thunder Hose V2. And he's also using 3 Hookah John cubes, and he's using straight foil because he's old school like that, J-Rock. That's what I like to see. Old school smoker right there. And then Akeem, super fan of the show, is obviously here as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Akeem. Are you smoking? What are you up to? We've got a couple people that say Sid is currently smoking Nakla Mint and Nakla 2 Apple. I believe it's double apple, though. 2 apples, a Alfaker joint. And then Alfaker Kiwi and Trifecta Ruby is what Sid is smoking at the moment. So, there we go. We got your picture. There it is.
Cool.
Hey, boss.
Found it.
Oh, here's my next
one. What are you smoking on there? Is that Ceramica?
Me?
Yeah, you. Oh, no. You're not smoking on that.
I got Ceramica over there. Yeah, good eye.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's a nice hookah. I actually want to pick one up. What are you smoking on? I know you're smoking that Trifecta, but what's your setup?
KM Kamanja. I'm using a Turkish El Nefes. Yeah, El Nefes base. It kind of looks like Bohemian base, but it's like the poor man's Bohemian base.
I'm in the market for a poor man's boho base. I'm not about to drop $100 on a base personally.
Dude, they're really cheap over at Ultimate Hookah right now. He has a sale going on. They're like $60 around there.
Oh, well, bye. See you guys. I'm going to go pick up a few of those. Enjoy the podcast.
Dropped out of the podcast for a moment. Sorry about that, guys. Rob, so obviously super happy to have you a part of the show. Me and you have been talking for, man, I think it's been nearly 3 years, maybe 2.5 years at this point.
Oh, that's way longer, man. Way longer. I'd say like 4 years, maybe 5.
It might be at this point. It's crazy. Me and Rob, we were both on hookah.org for a long time. I think you were there before I was, and then I started hanging out there a little bit and stuff and chit-chatting, and we both entered the world of reviews at about the same time. You had a couple videos before me. I was looking through your catalog because I was stalking you a little bit. Call me. It's okay. I don't mind. Upon doing that, me and you, we actually my first upload was a review that you had also uploaded that same day. We both reviewed
Adelia Maracuja. Yeah.
Yes. We both uploaded that one on the same day, which was funny. It was just a fun little thing that we did. Ever since then, we've been the best of friends. The best. Never arguing about anything at all.
No, never once.
I'm actually for you, Rob. The reason why I went with the setup that I'm smoking with at the moment. We got Zach here. Zach from Strictly Shisha. How you doing, man? Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that. Akeem.
Hey, nice.
Akeem is smoking out of his Ottoman N3 with an 80 feet 80, and he's smoking double apple AF. So 2 apples.
Hey,
2 apples.
My boy. Me too. Good choice.
Sid says, "What's up, Rob?" or "Sup, Rob?"
So, nothing, man. Just chilling with my boys.
Yes. So yeah, I am smoking for you, Rob. Just for you. I'm smoking Mia Hookah.
Hey, if you like it, man, all the power to you. I have nothing to say. If it's your preference to, that's what you like, more power to you, man.
Yeah, we've had some good talks about it and stuff. So I just wanted to say that. Zach is actually smoking Manzana's. Double apple too. Okay, I thought he was a brand. I thought he was saying that he was smoking.
Everybody's on double apple today. I should have loaded up some double apple. I didn't think about it.
I know. What is up? We missed the memo, Rob.
Well,
we missed the memo, I guess.
Double apple. That's from now on. That's the new rule. Double apple. You got to smoke it out of your Mason bowl unless you don't fucking have one like me.
I know, Rob. What bowl are you using?
OG Mini Brook. Nothing special. I know it's Mason Monday. I went with Trifecta. I wanted to use the Provost. I'm not a big fan of the Provost on the Mason Bowl, so I'm just like, I'm gonna pick what I want to smoke today and just went with that.
Yep, totally understandable. I'm using a Bambino with the Provost, actually. And I'm not even a big fan of how the Provost sits on top of the Bambino, but I still enjoy using it on there for sure. Jessica says, listen to the Bromance song from the Scrubs play in the background. And then Tristan says that he's using his Provost or Prometheus V2 timber hose with the carbon tube as well as the Sapphire set. Man, Tristan,
That's an expensive setup. Good for you. Oh shit.
What a sexy setup that Tristan has, honestly. You win tonight. You win by far. Okay, so let's get into the show a little bit. We talked about what we're smoking, and now we're going to do a very, very simple interview. Now, Rob, I don't know if you had a chance to go over any of the notes that I sent you post podcast-ish.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. We're going to keep it pretty simple for the most part. I don't want to get too far into the interview part of it because we're not just interviewing you for a product, obviously. We're going to be talking to you about reviews, and we have a pretty in-depth topic of the show that I think is going to honestly be a really, really fun time. As much as me and Rob have talked back and forth, we've never spoken face-to-face or camera-to-camera as it is right now. So
on the live we did, but I wasn't on the live. That was before Facebook did the whole you can be a guest thing. You were over at Jeremy's house.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that was... Man, so crazy how time flies. That was a ton of fun down there in Arkansas and stuff. So let's get into a little bit of the review. Very simple starting off question. Obviously, when did you start smoking hookah?
I smoked illegally. It was like 16 or 17. And it was illegal. Smoking hookah. Went on to Starbuzz. And from there, Alfaker, Nakla. You know the drill. Nothing too special.
What was your what was the first couple of hookahs that you owned? Where did you start hookah wise?
We really have to talk about this?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. It was like a $20 gas station hookah, essentially. It rusted in like a month.
That's where we all start, man. It's J-Rock will be in the comments telling us right now that those old school hookahs, that's where you have to start to understand and appreciate. Me and you, we talked about this one time, long ass time ago, about how you have to start with quick lights. Was it you that said that you bought your girlfriend quick lights just to make her go through the pain of what it
exactly, like? Yeah. I got a free roll, like it was some random Instagram giveaway or whatever. I ended up winning. I think it was the International Hookah Day when that thing was still going on, and they included a roll of quick lights. I'm like, okay, you have to smell these. You've only heard the stories. You have to try this, and that's all it took. One smell of that, and the instant light, and that was it. She's like, okay, never again.
Yeah, it fucking smells like cancer, dude. It's not good.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I bought these quick lights one time, and they were like tropical themed. And when you lit them, they smelled kind of tropically, like a pineapple or something, like a real sweet scent to them. I was like, oh man, I finally found like the perfect quick light phone that maybe is not terrible. And then I used them, of course, and they were god awful. And I was like, this was a bad mistake. What a liar these Kohl's were to me.
I regret everything.
The greatest quick light Kohl's, of course, being Three Kings, and then following right after that is the Kickflip 360 that Owen Barry reviewed on his channel, or I don't know if I'd call it a review. He showcased them on his channel a long ass time ago, so go check those out for sure.
Did you see his little blue mist video? He like loaded blue mist and just threw like this massive foil on top and like lit it with a lighter and the bowl like that.
What the fuck?
Yes. Blue mist is life, I tell you. J-Rock just said we all have to start from the bottom. That is the truth.
Yeah.
I want to hear in the chat.
Appreciate it.
I want to hear in the chat because besides Tristan, who just got a Prometheus for his first hookah, I don't know if that's true, but I think it might be. I want to hear what everyone's first hookah was. So in the chat, please let us know. What was your first hookah? Zach saying that you used your fake ID. I need to know a guy, I guess. But I want to know Zach. You're in the review game. You've done and seen and had so many awesome different products. Obviously, where did you start, Zach? We'll talk to you eventually. One of these days, we got to get on the show.
Zach, by the way, actually, when I started to think about doing reviewing, I was like, I watched a ton of Rob. I watched a lot of Eric from over at Hookah back when he was doing it. But one of my favorite videos, go way back into Zach's library and check out his Tangier's packing method video. That is pure gold. Yes. No one's seen that yet.
It's a great video.
I'm not sure if I've seen that one. I know he's done one with like an alien before, and it keeps coming up in my suggested videos, like an experimental packing method. I just haven't sat down and watched it, so that might be the one.
Yes, it's a great one. I watched it for sure. I enjoyed it. So next, moving right along through the interview questions, I want to ask you, what is your favorite tobacco? What is your favorite rig? And what is your favorite coal that you like to use?
Coal, that's easy. Cocoa Earth for sure.
Strictly
it's just everything for my preference.
Okay, hold on. Strictly Shisha's here. He switched his account. Zach is gone, so we don't have Zach anymore. But Strictly Shisha is here now, just so you guys know.
His alternate persona.
He's gonna get really loud now, probably. I don't know. He says that those are the old and embarrassing days. Well, tell us, what are your old and embarrassing times? All right, so going back to you. Sorry, what was your favorite stuff? I interrupted you.
Cocoa Earth for sure. It's high heat, you know, like minimal ash content. That's basically what I look for in a coal. I don't like the really ashy coals. I don't like the low heat coals. As for tobacco, it kind of changes. Like right now, Trifecta, you know, that's obviously always a good standby. But Messiah, if I'm smoking early in the day, I like to smoke Messiah or Famari. It just depends on my mood. Like that's really all it is what I feel like smoking. Favorites, yeah, just kind of play it by ear.
Yep.
As for setups, I like the Prometheus a lot. I don't actually own one, but the Initiate, I just got one of those, and that's probably my favorite setup right now.
That is an awesome hookah. I've been loving my Initiate. How do you set it up? Do you do it full length, or do you cut it down to like half size?
I like the mini, or I like the little teardrop piece all the way on top with the shaft right below, because the restriction isn't nearly as bad that way. Yeah. I feel like so. It adjusts. I like that whole aspect of the pipe too.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid pipe. My only complaint is the threads never seem to lock completely. So whenever I'm putting it into the base, it feels a little bit wobbly. But maybe that's just mine. That could just be a one-off issue.
Yeah, my down stem can kind of wobble.
Yeah.
J-Rock says that his first experience was in Las Vegas in 2006. So that's when J-Rock got started up. What was the year that you started smoking then, Rob?
It would have been like 2010. I think 2009 would have been the first initial hookah session I ever had, but 2010 I got into it a lot more. And then once I was legal, it was like, okay, now I can actually buy this stuff. I'm going to get into it. And from there, it's, hookah org, got into the review game, and met all you awesome people through Facebook. And of course, forums for you, Matt.
Yes, the forums were a thing. They were a thing.
They were. They really were.
It's cool to know you've been smoking hookah for a long time. You've seen a lot of the stuff come out and go through. Tristan actually says that he bought his first hookah. It was the $10 one. It was a $10 one off of Amazon Prime, and he started with hydro, herbal, and quick lights, and a pre-poked foil. Oh my gosh, who remembers hydro herbal shisha? Anybody?
Oh, I wish I didn't. I wish I did not remember that.
Oh my gosh, I remember when they first. It's Fantasia, isn't it? Isn't Hydro Fantasia?
Yeah, it's like Fantasia's off-brand or whatever,
Off-brand Fantasia. That sounds like a nightmare. I haven't been smoking there long enough.
Matt, yes, I did fix my mic. Me and Stefan, we chit-chatted a little bit, and I told you that I was working on my microphone, and everything should be golden now. Hopefully, no more problems, no more issues. That's my mantra. But as you know, we are the #1 podcast for technical difficulties, so all is okay when it comes to you, Rob, not joining us right away. It's totally fine. We expected it to happen. Okay. Moving right along into it. What does being this is going to be a little deeper. What does being a reviewer mean to you, Rob?
I love being able to not only get products on my own dime and everything like that, but just showcase on YouTube to people that are learning. That's where we all started. Like it's always trial and error with hookah, so it's nice to be on this side of it and really educate with all the tips that I found over the years, and just be like, hey, pack it like this, use this kind of stuff. That's how it means to me. It's just all what I can give back to the community.
That's awesome, man. I think that's a big reason why any of us really start. Like, here's the thing: is I think that there are people that start in the review game because they want free shit. I think that's a thing that happens, and it's sad that it happens because it's so much easier just to get the stuff that you want to get. Because when you review, it's a gamble. You're crap shooting. You don't know what you're getting is going to be good or bad. We're lucky enough in today's realm of reviewing stuff, we get some pretty good stuff for the most part. But people that get into it just to try and get stuff, they never last, and they fade away. They disappear. They don't have any sort of sticking sense to it. And you can tell pretty quickly when someone is just there to try and get stuff. It's very, very true and stuff. I don't know if I've ever asked Adrian, what does being a reviewer mean to you? I'd love to know what does being a reviewer mean to you as well, man.
It's basically the same thing. I just started smoking hookah. I'm a much younger hookah smoker than you guys. I also smoked illegally, but it was like I wasn't really in the good stuff game. I was like, yeah, this Starbuzz is really good in this mod bowl in my pumpkin hookah. This is awesome. And that went on for a few years, unfortunately. But I just got into it and wound up running into the Facebook community, which is a huge community now. It's basically the new forum, just chilling on Facebook. And I saw there were a lot of people doing reviews, and it looked like a lot of fun. So I just started to do them. Then I was like, yeah, no, this is pretty fun. And then one thing leads to another, and you just keep doing it because people are like, oh, thanks, I wanted to know about this flavor. Like, oh, cool, I did something cool for another person. And then you just go from there.
That's always fun to get product. I think we've all been smoking Azure tobacco recently, and I know that I don't think any of us care a huge amount for like the dark leaf tobacco. So to me, it's been nice to be able to point people to the blonde leaf or their golden edition and let them know, like, hey, go and get this brand and give it a try. Try the golden brand because I think you're gonna have a better experience with it. And it's that exact sort of mentality. Like the fact that we got to smoke it early is super cool, and it's really, really nice. And the fact that we're able to then push the good stuff, bring it to the top, I think is what really makes it worth it. When we get that kind of opportunity.
Absolutely. It is really nice that we can actually recommend a blonde leaf. Like you were saying, the dark leaf, that's the fad right now. Everybody wants the dark leaf, Sense Tangiers, Trifecta, Starbuzz Vintage. Yeah. You know the drill. It's just nice to finally be able to be like, hey, this is a really nice blonde leaf, just like a Alpha Comma. Really nice. It's just great to have these blonde leaves kind of take back the market on Storm.
It's been nice to see some really strong. And then for me personally, I really like Awaha. You know, like when I got into smoking Awaha, it was almost like a goal for me to like inform people like, hey, I think you guys like, you know, I try not to be, I don't know what the right word is. I try not to be overly hypey. I don't know if that's a good word for it.
Yeah, that describes it well.
Yeah, but when it comes to like Awaha, like I was hyped for it. I bought it and I really enjoyed it. I started pushing reviews for it, and then I got more stuff from it, and I was able to do even more stuff for it. And I was really happy that I could this brand and hopefully push it a little bit as well. Let's see. Tristan says, oh wait. Stefan says I might start blogging about Zomo. Please do. Yes, I think that there are.
I think we've all tried Zomo at this point.
Yep. I have not tried Zomo. I'm a Zomo virgin.
What?
I have not tried it yet. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you need to get some, man. The blonde leaf is great. Dark line too.
Get Secret of Babylon. That's my favorite blonde leaf from Zomo. And then their Strong Mint is actually insanely good if you haven't had that.
It's strong. Next level. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome though.
Both those flavors been hearing a ton about, so I definitely want to start there. And then Tristan says my Phoenix started really fast with 4 coals, maybe beginner's luck. I think 4 coals is the way that you got to use it, is what the thing is. We will be touching on the Phoenix maybe a little bit later because we all have experience with it, and I'd love to hear Rob's opinion of it as well. But
hey, yo, Matt, real quick, I'm going to dip out for a second. I've been smoking for an hour. My coals are just about done, so I'm going to go grab a wind cover and set some down. Be back in 2 minutes. Hey, the Phoenix.
Yes. Akeem says that he started with a small Chinese hookah. That's where we start, man. There's nothing to feel bad about in any way. Sid says only tried strong lemon from Zomo. Not a fan, but heard greatness about the blonde stuff. So, and then also Tristan says strong mango is the best mango flavor. Me and you, we both had Awaha's, or was it Awaha mango? That we both
mango lemonade. Yeah.
Yes, that's what
it was pretty good.
I see, and for me, it was bland. I remember it's been a long time since I had it, but for me, it was kind of a bland mango taste to it. I wanted more mango-y sensation to it and stuff, kind of like Nakla has their sweet melon. That's like a perfect rendition of a cantaloupe, and I really, really wish that we could get a mango that tasted like that, only like a mango and not a cantaloupe, obviously.
Afzal actually has a really good mango. Surprisingly, like I don't like a lot from Afzal, but I'll give it to them. Their mango is actually really nice. But strong mango, it's nice too. It just wasn't my favorite, so I don't really recommend it to that many people. But I know a lot of people really enjoy it, like Maz from Hookah Junkie. That's like his favorite flavor.
Tristan also says that he's already bumped himself down to 3 coals at the moment. So that's where Tristan is sitting. Tristan is using a mason bowl, and I would love to hear your thoughts because not anything against Adrian, but me and you, we got that mason love going on right now.
Stop it.
I think the mason bowl is the absolute best way to use the Phoenix. That's been my experience with it so far. What about yourself?
Yeah, I liked it. I did 4 flats in it. It didn't last extremely long, you know, because they were flats. They died at about an hour 15, if that. So I'm still kind of playing around with what my heat management's going to be like with the Mason and the Onyx. But so far, it was a good session. Everything, it just wasn't as long lasting as I can get with like an Ignis on top or a Lotus.
Okay.
So I'm still playing around with it, but I think it has potential for sure.
Have you guys all seen the leak? Well, not even really a leak, just the announcement for the Helix Bowl, I think is what Mason's calling it. That thing looks so awesome. Good. I'm going to get one of those, like, for sure.
My daughter was around.
Have it at TPE.
Really?
My daughter was around when I was flipping through my phone, and we both stopped on that, and she instantly was like, are you going to get that? That's really cool looking, Dad. And I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe if my fingers are quick enough, but I definitely want it. It looks sick.
Yeah, it really does. I love the way it reminds me a lot of the Surrey Bowl. I don't know if Adrian has one. If that is the Surrey Bowl right there, it might be a Predator.
This is a Predator. I do have a Surrey Bowl. I got a pink one.
Okay.
I'll grab it when I get my coals. It's awesome. There's a review coming soon on it. I love that bowl.
I only got to use it once, but it was very nice.
If you don't want to buy one, what you can do is take like a hammer or something and just take that right off. You got a Surrey Bowl. Just knock it off. Yeah.
Jessica says, it's awesome that you guys take the time to do reviews. Super helpful and gives reason to take a chance and try something new. I agree. Secret of Babylon is very good. Strictly Shisha then says, I agree, Afzal, green mango is pretty great. And then Tristan says, I'm going to do multiple rounds of Coles. I don't doubt that you will be able to do that, Tristan, at all.
No, with the Phoenix, it's super nice doing multiple rounds, because the ash content doesn't go anywhere. You can take out all your Coles, instantly blow out the ash, and just add fresh ones right there. Very easy for that. So definitely a plus for the Phoenix on that aspect.
Now, I obviously do not smoke multiple rounds, just my smoking habits and stuff. I know it's probably like a cardinal sin to not smoke for 3.5 hours with the Mason Bowl, so I apologize for that. But I do like with the Phoenix that it's been pretty easy to clean now that I have my pack down a lot better with it. And also just, the ash content is really nice with that as well. I do like that. We got one more review question for you, Rob. Not trying to make you point fingers of any kind, but who are some of the people that you like to watch? That's my final question for you.
Oh, well, that Matt guy. Love-hate relationship with that Matt guy. Yeah. Same with Adrian. I don't know if I can support these two guys, but yeah, I'd be watching. But no, in all seriousness, I watch both of you guys religiously. When Sean was still doing his reviews, I loved watching Sean. Hookah, I watched all of his stuff. Going back to like the old school guys, I consider Zach with Strictly Shisha an old school guy because he's just been around for so long in the game now. Besides that, obviously, Wait on a Hookah. He's my boy. I watch all his stuff, DMZ, watch all theirs. Just everybody that does reviews, I watch everybody. I don't really play favorites, but, I got my friends. I'll say that much.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think we all have gravitated towards people that we have not only a similar palate to in times, but I think we also to quality reviews, right? I think that it's the best type of review that I like to watch, even if I don't agree with them on everything that they say. I still enjoy the content they put out as long as they're saying their content in a meaningful way. Cuckoo Got Screwed is a really good reviewer video.
John Littlejohn, that guy's awesome.
Little John, yeah.
I really appreciate the stuff, and he does different stuff too, which I super appreciate. It's not a cut and dry review. It's talking about the product. It's conversating with the audience. It's really, really good quality stuff. I really do enjoy his stuff a ton, honestly. So that kind of kills it for the review, unless Adrian has any questions that he would like to throw into the mix.
No, I think you covered everything pretty well. I don't know, Matt, maybe you watch this guy. Do you watch Dr. Noob Sauce?
I have seen Dr. Noob Sauce's stuff.
He's entertaining, and he's got a green screen, so there's that.
Yeah, I saw him last night. He took one of my video thumbnails and was using it as his own. So
oh shit! Well,
yeah, that was my first interaction with him.
I don't like him anymore.
Well, that was a weird thing that he did.
He was cool about it. He was like very understanding. He said he found it on a Google search, so I can't blame him on that. But it was definitely weird. Like, it was the same exact review. It was over like the diffusers, and he just blatantly took my shit. But yeah, he was cool about it. Great guy.
The weird thing was, and no offense towards you, Rob, because you take some of the best and sexiest pictures hookah related. That was not a sexy picture.
No, it was just a picture of 3 diffusers on 3 different pipes. That was it.
We've got a question from Zach at Strictly Shisha. That's pretty intriguing. I'd like to hear what Rob has to say. Do you have any other hobbies other than hookah that you're just as involved in?
Skateboarding, music for sure, and I cook all the time. So that's basically what I do when I'm not smoking hookah.
Culinary guy right here. You're going to cook me some food when I come and see you eventually, right, Rob?
Yeah, man, I got you on that Chinese cuisine all day.
Yeah. Funny story. I was in Vegas recently, or I guess not too recently now, but I was in Vegas and we were going to try and meet up, but it didn't quite work out, sadly, which is fine. But next time I'm in Vegas, I'm going to beat down your doorstep. Yeah,
you remember what was going on. I just couldn't do it. I do miss that opportunity, but with what was going on, it just couldn't happen. But next time, yeah, man.
It was still super cool. I got to sit down and meet Christopher Jones for the first time, so that was really cool too and stuff. So I got to talk to him about Black Lava, and it was definitely a fun experience, along with the anniversary reason with my wife that I was there as well. I don't want to. Hopefully she's not watching, but the anniversary is definitely beckoned to that trip. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I went and saw the Backstreet Boys. Adrian, are you going to judge me now?
We've had this conversation. I lost some respect for it.
Everyone in the chat, feel free to judge me if you want to.
NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? That's the question for the chat. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Yes, be anonymous while showing off your screen name. It's fine. No one will know who you are. In the chat, if you guys have some questions for Rob, please shoot them out. I'd love to hear more questions.
By all means.
And more responses from him, obviously. J-Rock just says, I see somebody is using a wind cover. That's because Adrian is old school and a killer. He likes to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Plus, it looks good on a KM, so it's aesthetic.
It does.
Tristan actually says, I saw your diffuser video, Rob. Do you use diffusers? And he's thinking, I'm picking up some for some of my hookahs. So do you still use diffusers? Where do you stand on the diffuser battle?
When I was at my old place, I would, because, you know, we'd watch a lot of movies, and the roar of a KM is just insane still. I know it's not as bad as a Chica, but yeah, I throw on usually the Hiba, because that is the most quiet. I said that in my review. So back then I would use the Hiba a lot, but nowadays I don't really use them too often.
Yeah, when you get your own place and the volume doesn't matter nearly as much, then it's definitely a much easier thing. I've never got a diffuser purchased as a secondary to put on my extra hookahs. I've only used diffusers within my hookahs that I have, like my tabletop, Apple on top tabletop that has a built-in diffuser, super quiet. My Mia MX has a built-in diffuser, super quiet as well. So like I've used diffusers myself, and I do really like the functionality that they add to a hookah, honestly. But they're not a standby feature for me that I need to have by any stretch.
Yeah.
The Aviator actually has a pretty solid built-in diffuser if anyone's used that pipe.
I have not. Never seen one in person either.
Unfortunately, the big problem with the Aviator is their starting asking price was way too high for what you got. I paid $80 for mine, which is perfect.
Oh, wow.
But 170 is way too. It's a good $80 pipe. It's an awful $170 pipe.
We see that happen a lot, sadly, in the world of hookah, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. I wanted to break down a small segment to talk about new reviews. If anybody has anything new going on, Rob, do you have any new reviews that you're going to be posting anytime soon?
I want to do Indian Kier and Dirty Mint sometime soon. I got some Mahala bowls from 5-Star. I want to review those. But TPE is in a couple days, so that's going to be the next video that hits my channel. It's kind of like a walkthrough, maybe some interviews if the sound is going to let me. We'll see how that goes. But regardless, you guys will see TPE kind of walkthrough for sure.
Very cool. Excited to see that. I wanted to go to TPE. It fell at a bad time for me this year, sadly. I made it a goal last year that I was going to try and make it. But if Hookah John does his Hookah John Expo this year, I'm going to be going to that for sure. Nothing will stop me for sure on that. What about you, Adrian? Do you have any new reviews that are going to be dropping soon?
Yeah, quite a few actually. My channel's been pretty barren for the last 2 weeks because of work stuff, and then I haven't had any time to do post-production. But I've got like straight up 10 new videos coming out probably in the course of 2-3 weeks. And to name a few, you're going to see a review on the new Surrey Bowl. The Surrey Bowl is getting reviewed. The Cloud Lotus Plus, the Superior Cocoa Coals, the Phoenix HMD, a few flavors. I'm a big fan of Messiah as well, Rob. Actually, I'm a huge fan of their lemon mint. I've got a few Messiah.
Yeah, we were talking about it quite a few times before.
Yeah. I was actually he helped me figure out how to pack that stuff because it doesn't. I find that with the lemon mint, at least you can get it at a semi-dense pack, which is weird, but it's a good way to pull a lot of extra zest out of it because it is a natural lemon mint flavor. But yeah, some Messiah reviews just because not a lot of people are covering that stuff, and I like covering stuff that isn't being covered, even if it's not current.
Yeah,
it's a good time to do it because Hookah Junkie got his Hookah Heroes. Obviously I'm wearing the shirt. Yeah, they got theirs 5-star. They're it's a good time for Messiah. A lot of people are stocking back up on it.
Yeah, they got a good asking price too. It's right there in that same price range as El Fakir. If you're lucky like me and live in Dearborn, you pick up 250s for $10 a piece. So I can it's
great
awesome.
Price.
Yes.
Wholesale price right there. J-Rock says that if you're not using the diffuser, you don't know what you're missing. It says you're the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm going to just point that at you, Rob. You are the best thing since sliced bread. But I think he means it is the best thing since sliced bread.
It is a lot smoother. I'll give it that. Like I do like the draw diffusers. It's just I don't use them too often anymore.
Yeah, I think the reason is sound. See what I did with the fun. But
before we move on really quick, not to interrupt you, I just wanted to say this really quick because I've been following Zach from Strictly Shisha super religiously lately because he's been posting a lot more than he has in recent months. He's been like killing it. And I hear that he's trying to get to 10K subs, and his channel is pretty sizable. So if there's like maybe 1 or 1.5 of you guys that are watching this that haven't, go to Strictly Shisha and sub to that guy because his content is pretty much it's the standard for what I think people should be going for.
You see how Ice Cream is making his latest video?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Griddle, he makes awesome.
It's so good. Yeah, Spinani, it's an awesome review. I want to try that too. The flavor
getting ready to watch that review tonight. J-Rock says, question mark, does anybody have the Hookah Hose splitter from Hookah Heroes, which he does have? Have you seen the Hookah Hose splitter, any of you guys?
I saw them years ago. I don't know if they've changed maybe. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with them nowadays, but I saw them like a really long time ago when Chinese hookahs were kind of the only thing.
And then Sid says, diffusers for the win. I can lower the water level ever so much for my worser KMs, and it makes a world of difference. I do like that with diffusers, they're obviously a little bit longer than where the downstem will go. So it does allow you to kind of push your water level a little bit further down, especially. So one thing about like some of the Mia hookahs that I have, the downstems are oddly really odd. I noticed the Harris Smoke does this too sometimes. I don't know if it's just like a Chinese manufacturing thing. I have no idea. But like sometimes their downstems are just shorter than what they need to be. So you can throw a diffuser on that and it'll help a ton with something like that for sure.
Yeah, when I got the Pharaoh's Nubia, you know, like it's like their smallest pipe, maybe 17 inches absolute max. Like you're saying, their downstem was just like kind of ridiculous. If you did not use a diffuser, you just got, you know, you drank your hit. You just got water all the way through your hose, and that's always really, really nice, you know? So some hookahs, I think diffusers definitely are more than just a standby. You obviously need it at that point.
Yeah. J-Rock says, my favorite flavor of Messiah. I think he means Messiah is what I would think he means, but I'm not sure. Maybe he says, is Twist. I've never heard of Twist.
Oh, the Twist is really nice. It's like pineapple, coconut, vanilla, and something else in there. It's like tropical, but creamy too.
Oh, I love creamy flavors, Rob. I'm a big fan of those cream
flavors. Good, man. It really was. I got it expired, so it wasn't as good as it should have been, but still, it was good.
You enjoying that Indian Cure? I love the creamy pudding dessert flavor of the Indian Cure.
So good, man. I always mix it with peach and mint, so it's like a peach cream kind of vibe to it, almost like a peach cobbler. Excellent.
Indian Cure is amazing.
I never put any other fruit flavor with it. It never occurred to me to do that. I put mint with it and absolutely loved it. But adding extra flavor notes with fruit flavors would have been a great idea. I never even thought to do that, honestly.
I looked up the ingredient list for it, and you know the recipe, how it's made, and everything. And some cultures do put dried fruit in there. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna mix this with fruit now, and I haven't looked back. After I mix the peach and mint, it's like that's it.
It's a great idea. Strictly Shisha says, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I actually like to increase my water level with diffusers, is what he says. And then he also says, smaller volume in vase for denser clouds. But I'm weird and like to fill my water more than most. So that'd be a fun topic, actually, to talk about, is milky clouds and how we get some of the larger clouds on occasion. Rob, you have made videos, and I kid you not, your clouds have just made me feel insignificant in the world of hookah. I have watched your videos and thought to myself, why do I even try? Why do I even bother smoking at this point? So
it's not a dick measuring contest, man. It's whatever cloud output you guys need. That's for like right now. I'm just going, just chilling. You know, I'm not really going for clouds. I'm just chilling right now.
And he's probably still putting mine to shame. So what's it even matter? That'd be a fun conversation about clouds, and also, you know, an idea for a topic in the future, we could write it down, is cloud output versus flavor output. There are people out there. We may think they may be a little crazy at times, but there are people that cloud chase. When we first started smoking hookah, I was a cloud chaser. I wanted to get the biggest, thickest clouds humanly possible, even if that meant that I had to sacrifice my flavor and stuff. And as I've gotten more mature and into the hobby and the enthusiasm of smoking hookah, flavor is definitely the more important aspect of it to me, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm the same way. I started with cloud chasing, and now it's just flavor.
Jessica says, Rob, those thunderclouds, sometimes we are not worthy. Thunderclouds. Who remembers a reviewer that used to say thunderclouds? Anybody remember that?
True
I know
Hookah
exactly what you're
King.
talking about. Yep.
Hookah King.
I love that
The
guy.
king of the
I feel like-
Fantasia reviews.
Yes,
I feel-
yes, and Exotica, King of Fantasia.
Yeah,
and
and
Exotica.
Exoticas too.
I feel
love-
like you're supposed to hate True Hookah King, but I can't help but love that guy. I think he's awesome.
You guys remember Hookah Labs, the videos that he used to do where he would take like mixed flavors and then like put random stuff in his vases as well?
I don't think I've watched any of those. No.
Go back and watch some of that. Look for his Hookah Lab stuff. Just I think he has it like in a playlist even or something like that. But they're fun videos. They are very, very, very fun videos. Oh, Sid says Nimbus Clouds. Yes, Nimbus Clouds. That is hell yeah,
I
exactly.
used to say that on my channel all the time.
I was a big fan of that one. I think I went one time named my cloud outfit too. I don't remember what I named it. Jeez, what would it have been? Oh, probably just big old cloud. I don't know. I have no idea. Have you ever named your clouds, Adrian? Like this is the agers, the ager clouds.
No, I just say this stuff makes clouds. I pretty much expect most modern tobaccos to give you decent cloud output. My favorite though is Stormtrooper clouds.
Yes, Jaina.
Hookah Stormtrooper.
Yeah,
Stormtrooper
awesome.
Lewis, Stormtrooper Clouds.
Yes, for sure. Okay. So just to touch briefly on my reviews that I'm going to be getting out because we are doing a show, guys. Believe it or not. I'm going to be reviewing the Phoenix next on my channel, and that might be a little bit of a ending of me for just a tiny bit. I'm not sure what's going on exactly. I'm still trying to figure some stuff out. I'm going to go ahead and announce it right now on the channel real quick. I haven't talked about this too much in my personal life, obviously, on the shows and stuff, but I'm expecting my 4th child. I already
awesome, man. Congratulations.
I have 3 daughters as of right now. In March, I'm going to be expecting number 4. We don't know if it's going to be a girl or a boy until they're born, and then we'll find out. But things are going to slow down a little bit for me just because I probably will not be smoking for a little while when the... But the Phoenix will be
great, man.
Congratulations, Dad.
Yeah, I did some real dad stuff today. I went up to the mountain skiing with my oldest daughter and stuff. I'm an old man. You youngins, man. I'm just an old man. Okay. Well, what do you guys say? Should we get into the topic of the show?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a topic? I thought
There
we were
is.
just doing a live hangouts.
No, we are gonna have a topic.
This is an actual podcast then.
It is an actual
Shit.
podcast. We are going
right.
to do an actual topic, and the topic of the show, because all 3 of us review stuff on YouTube and such. We're going to be talking about reviews, but we're going to do a little bit of inside baseball type conversation and stuff. And I think that Tristan just said right now he's having the exact opposite experience of all those who have used the Phoenix, and he's loving it so far. I don't think anybody has not loved it. I think that the further we got into it, this is a great place to start right here. Rob, I know you don't have the most experience with it just because how many bowls have you tried with the Phoenix so far?
Probably 8 or 9 around there. Not all of them are great,
I do.
but the majority were good.
Okay, that's good. How many bowls would you say on average that you've tried so far, Adrian?
With the Phoenix?
Yeah.
Probably like 20, 25.
Okay. And I'm way down the number. I'm on number, I want to say maybe 6 or so, maybe 8, maybe a little bit closer to 8 actually, now that I think about it. So the very first topic of the topic of reviews is I want to talk about hype. I want to talk about what it means as us as reviewers getting products early and hyping up a product either in a positive way or a negative way. I think the Phoenix is a good talk when it comes to that because there is going to be a lot of hype surrounding the Phoenix, just because it's the newest kid on the block, obviously. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not at my point where I'm going to say it's good or bad yet. That's not where I'm at the moment. Hopefully within the next week I will be. But and I'm assuming Rob probably isn't there yet either. I think Adrian may be a little bit closer to the VR type scenario.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I've pretty much come to a conclusion how I feel about it.
Okay. And I think when you first get a product in your hands for the very first time, right? Like there's a lot of emotion that comes through you. And usually that first emotion that you get is a very positive one. I know that when I get flavors, if they smoke good the very first time, I'm usually like, this is the greatest ever. And then I have to smoke it a few more times before I realize, okay, it's just hookah tobacco. It's not going to change the world or anything like that. When it
Blue
comes
Mist.
Huh?
Blue Mist changed the world.
It kind of did, though. Honestly, it really did.
Yes, that's a different conversation. We will have a show. We've talked about this. We're gonna have a show dedicated to that. But when it comes to the Phoenix, for instance, when we first got it and we interviewed Ron on the podcast, obviously, we had some positive things, some negative things, some in the middle things to say about it. When it comes to the hype that's being built about it, it's easy to build hype through pictures and through early videos about a product. It's our job as reviewers to give all the information about a product that's not just the positive, but also some of the negative things as well. We can all agree probably pretty easily when it comes to the aesthetic look of the Phoenix, it's sexy and pretty, right? That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's doing his best.
Yeah,
Dana White. Not Dana White. Something White. Who's the girl?
Vanna White, yeah.
Vanna White, okay, yeah.
Why do you guys know that?
Why don't you?
Is that a thing? How old are you? How old are you, Rob?
I'm 25.
Me too. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know, man. You didn't stay home enough as a kid and watched Price is Right?
I guess no.
Isn't that where she's from? Price is Right?
Yeah, no, not Price is Right. It's Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
I didn't spend a lot of time on that show.
Tried to say that with a mouthful of smoke, not the easiest thing to do. J-Rock says, make sure you guys get a pistol on your side of your hip for protection. For the protection. Okay, yes, he's telling me get a gun to protect my daughters. I live in a pretty kosher town, luckily. I appreciate the advice though, J-Nuck. I really, really do. So going back to the Phoenix and the hype that's being driven from it, it's important that we get excited about good products and showcase that. But it's also important for us to stay in perspective of what the product actually is. Now, without going too far into it, Adrian and Rob, I'm going to say right now that as someone who does not have the most experience with HMDs, for instance, I really have enjoyed my time using the Phoenix. I do notice a few number of drawbacks personally of things that I'm not a big fan of, such as the cold consumption and also the and this may sound weird. Maybe this is my oldness coming out. I don't know. But I do like putting foil on a bowl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I like the heat management aspect too. You're interacting with the bowl the entire time, whereas one of these, set it and forget it,
Which is a positive, and to some, could be a negative.
For you, Adrian, thoughts about what are some of the positives when it comes to for me saying I'm not a huge HMD guy, right? So if you were going to try and sell an HMD, what are those key things that you're oh, well, this is why you would want an HMD?
Yeah, it's really good that you worded it that way, because to be fully transparent, I actually hate most HMDs. Hold for the Provost, which is kind of a weird HMD. I mean, it is technically, but I use it on foil. But I don't like HMD so much. It's just a personal thing. But when I'm looking at an HMD, because I try to put out reviews because people care about them, and they are good for the market, I think. They're just not my cup of tea. The most important thing is just when I'm using HMD, I want to not play with it at all, because I feel like that's kind of the point, right? So with things like the Lotus, I've really enjoyed about the Lotus Plus is that I guess this is kind of a conspiracy whether it fits 3 cubes or it doesn't. I've been able to get 3 cubes to fit, but you throw 3 cubes in the Lotus, you don't touch it. It goes for an hour and a half, hour 45. Everything's awesome, and that's the big selling point for HMDs, I think. So that's the first thing I look for is, can it stay at a consistent heat for a good amount of time, and do I have to fuck with it at all?
That makes a lot of sense to me. I think that we're all on that Provost train, obviously. We all love to use the Provost on top of our foil and have figured out really good ways to show off how it benefits a lot of users. When it comes to HMDs, it seems and like I said, I don't have the most experience with all of them or anything, but you do have to use an extra coal to smoke with it. It takes one extra coal than you would normally use on almost anything that you smoke with.
Yeah, I can fully agree with that. The Lotus, I still like it, but with Phoenix and Ignis, I definitely have always gravitated more towards those as I've gotten them. Even though the cold consumption is obviously greater, Ignis, I have to use 3 cubes. Phoenix, I have to use 4 mini cubes, 4 flats, 4 cubes sometimes. So like you're saying, the cold consumption is definitely a really big key factor in recommending one.
Yeah, and it needs to be said. That's the part of that hype that is important to also point out. Like, yes, this thing's really cool. It will have this knock against it. J-Rock says, I almost called him J-Knock. J-Rock says, Blue Mist and the Vortex Bowl changed everything. Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
We have to do an entire show focusing on Blue Mist in the future. We will do this. I promise you. I don't know when, but it will happen for sure. And we'll talk more about Vortex Bowls because they have a place in the history of hookah. That is absolutely for sure.
That Stone Vortex is amazing. I'm not using it right now, but it is one of my top bowls.
And Jim from Ugly Hookah Tobacco is coming out with a Vortex Bowl. I mean,
yeah.
It's a Vortex mixed with a funnel bowl, obviously. It's adding the one on top of it. But it is a Vortex Bowl. Like, that's what I would consider it first and foremost, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
it reminds me a lot of some of the glass bowls that come with glass hookahs. Some of them are like Vortex with the funnel on top.
Yeah, and the one that I have is garbage. That Evolution one, no bueno.
Yeah,
no bueno. Jessica says, yeah, HMDs is when I have company over and I'm playing a card game because less worry about doing it. J Rock then says the best way to do it is coals on the top of the soil because you can taste the whole shisha profile. And the flavor content, everything will pop if you have a straight contact with the heat. I don't know what that means. The best way to do it is coals. Anybody know what that means?
I think what he's saying is coal and foil is the best way to go. And J-Rock, if that's what you're saying, I am a part of that mindset with you. Honestly, we all have to look at HMDs as reviewers in the most objective way possible because even though maybe they're not for me, I'm the minority. There's a lot of people who are going to enjoy HMDs, and I think that's just fine. But when it comes to coal and foil, personally, I think it's the best thing you can. It's the best way to get a good session.
I'm with you on that, Adrian, for sure. Rob is obviously ashing some coals at the moment. We're going to be talking about the good and bad real quick. I want to throw this out there as well. I think we've all had the experience of having really good products sent to us, and we get to talk about those. But we've also had some negative and bad products sent to us. I don't know if any product is necessary. Yeah, there's bad products for sure out there. I didn't want to point fingers, but I guess that's the best way to do it. For me, the first product that comes to mind that was a good bad scenario that I thought it was important for me to say that I did not like this as my personal taste and what I feel about this product was the Starbuzz Serpent, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, and some really, really good stuff. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing that they did. When it comes to Serpent, I thought it was a miss. That was a miss to me. So it was important, just like it's important to talk about the bad. So it was important for me to do a review and say, hey, I don't like this. It's trying to go for strawberry milkshake, and it is failing at doing that. And it is like Nesquik if you put too much into your milk, basically. So what are your guys' thoughts on it's important to talk about the good, but it's also important to talk about the bad?
Well, I had not a Nahi, it's their sister brand, Amira. Amira Hookah sent me like their magnetic hookah thing, and I didn't review it on my channel, but I just trashed it on Hookah Unbiased. It was one of the worst hookahs I've ever received. Yeah, it was the worst hookah I've ever received, and I instantly had to be like, nobody buy this. This is just total trash, and haven't looked back since. I sent it back to him, just like I'm not touching this. I was actually scared to smoke it for my own health. It was that bad.
I remember seeing those posts. Actually, I do remember those. What about you, Adrian? What are your thoughts about? You got to talk about the good, but you got to talk about the bad. I love, just really quickly, Adrian does the point scale on his channel, obviously, and I love the fact that you talk about 6.8 and you talk about 7.4 and stuff like that. I really enjoy that you're not like, this is good, this is bad.
Right.
No. There is a middle, and we got to talk about that middle as well.
Yeah, I think the most important thing when you're reviewing a product is first to judge. It's kind of about intent. So if you've got a flavor that's trying to be a lemon mint, and I'm a big fan of lemon mint flavors, the first thing you got to judge is it a lemon mint flavor? Does it hit that flavor profile in the head? If so, and if it does it well, you have to acknowledge that. As far as negative things go, like I agree with you on the Serpent, Matt. I actually received some Serpent, and I have not reviewed it yet just because I'm having trouble finding enough good things to say to actually do a full-length video on it. I may actually have to do a video just on the Serpent line in general. I'm going to get my hands on a few more flavors, trying just to make sure the 2 flavors I had weren't like bum flavors or something. But I don't like that line at all. And I think it's a lot of people, especially a lot of the vendors, might dislike it because obviously they've got their job. They're trying to push product, and more power to them. I think that's just fantastic. It's a growing market and all that. But when you get a bad product, I feel like your job as a reviewer is to warn the community, hey, I talk about good stuff all the time, but this product's maybe not so good. Maybe dodge this one. And I also think it's important before you go bashing a product or talking down on it, if you have access to the contact information for the people who are responsible for producing that product, talk to them first. Like Jim.
Absolutely.
I've recently had some problem with some recent ugly, and Jim's actually right in the middle of reworking his current formula because it's a little bit too heat resistant for some of the people I've talked to, and he tends to agree. So he's reworking a little bit, and hopefully people can get behind that because not everyone wants to use 3-4 coals on a bowl. So and I think that's a really good way to go about looking at products that maybe have some more negative attributes, is to go to the guys who made the product and give them a chance to kind of work on some of those issues, especially new products where some of these guys don't know how the community is going to respond to them at first.
And if possible, at all times, talking to a good product producer is always going to give you good results, right? Like if you can talk to somebody and say, like, these are the problems that I'm having, you know you're dealing with good people when immediately they say things like, yeah, we see where you're coming from, right? Like we understand what you're saying. We want to work on these things, and we want to take your feedback, and we want to improve whatever it is that we're doing. That's always nice to see, especially in a community aspect like this, where we have so many people on the Facebook where they are a part of the community. They are a part of the things that are being said. And if they can get in on that and talk to us about that, that's really, really important stuff, in my opinion.
If I understand it correctly, Azure actually may be reworking some of their dark leaf tobaccos just because the community has been like, blonde's better than dark. And that's rare. Normally, I'm like, the dark's so much better than the blonde. But with Azure, they're blonde leaf. Yeah, exactly. I like trifecta blonde, but if you give me the option to like pick up some blonde or dark, I'm like, give me the morning glory and the lychee and the good stuff.
Give me that give me that enigma. That's the good.
So good.
So very good. Now moving on to the next part of this topic. Also, guys in the chat, if you could please, if you have some ideas, thoughts, or questions, please bring them up at any time that you want to. I liked what, let's see, who did it? J-Rock did it. He started his question with a question mark. This was, in fact, a question. So I like that idea. So if you guys have a question, please throw a question mark in front of it and let us know what your ideas or thoughts are, because we'd love to have you guys participate as well. The next part that I want to talk about is trying to stay unbiased. I know this is going to be an interesting conversation. Hold on, J-Rock just says, I'm going to try and say this and not to bash the brand, but it's Sahara Smoke hookahs. Let's see, Sahara Smoke hookahs. All because I had one of their hookahs for 2 years and the inside of the hookah rusted up. I think this is a really good place to talk about when it comes to bias, because I'm going to throw some stuff out there that I think is going to generate really, really good conversation, especially when it comes to talking about Mia hookahs, which I do a lot of reviews for. I talk a lot of Mia stuff. I might be like the Mia guy on YouTube, I guess. Maybe that would be a decent statement to make. So let's talk about trying to stay unbiased. Let's talk about my bias towards Mia. And I'll be the first person to say the bias that I have towards a good tobacco, the bias that I have towards a good product. And that's what I want to kind of try and lead off this with and shoot you guys back and forth and see what we can generate from this. But Mia hookahs for me have not rusted. Okay, and I've heard the complaints about it and stuff like that. So my videos, if you ever notice during the reviews that I do for like Mia hookahs, I try to less review them because I am doing product. I don't want to say placement. I mean product reviews. I'm doing product reviews for Mia, right? So my point in doing my videos is not usually to do a review of their hookah, but it's to give an overview of their hookah, and that's my way of trying to stay unbiased and positive about their products, is by showcasing what it is that I'm trying to talk about. So I'm not just trying to say like this hookah is a 10 out of 10 for X, Y, and Z. What I'm trying to do is say this is what this hookah is, and this is what I'm trying to showcase. Now, if I do a good job of that or not, that's a completely different story that I need to either work on or whatever the case may be. But that's my point in doing those kinds of things. What are products that you guys have ever got a part of or been a part of and felt the need to showcase a product of some kind and talk about it, not necessarily in a positive light or anything, but to talk about the product of what it is. Does that kind of make sense? Is that?
Yeah, you worded it correctly. Yeah. Trying to think of an example. I don't have any sponsorships or anything like that. I guess I can say Pharaoh's approached me and they wanted to do something similar to like what you have, Matt. And they basically said I would have to email them beforehand and tell them what I was going to say. And they would basically kind of police over what I was going to say. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not down for that whatsoever. But that's really the only instance I can think of that bias would come up.
And that I would,
we don't receive stuff for free, obviously, all of us do. But I think as a whole, the reviewer community is pretty good at staying unbiased.
And that was a problem that I was worried about when it came to Mia stuff, because the Copa, my very first review for one of the Mia products, had a big problem with their purge valve, and I stated it that this purge valve does not work. You have to take it out of the hookah to be able to use it to purge with it. Once again, showcasing and giving information and review, or giving a showcase of their product and stuff. But the reality is, in this product, this is broken. The nice thing that happened for me from that is that they fixed it, and they revamped it to make it work, which is awesome that they listened to the feedback that was needed from it. But at no point, and I wrote them an email right back, and I said, I'm going to tell you straight up, this purge valve does not work. Luckily for me, what I got back from them was, we understand that not all it was a very generic company line of like, we understand that not all hookah products are going to work for everybody. And it's like, well, this don't work for nobody. And I'm going to say this does not work, obviously. So I've never had a problem with policing. You can't say this. And I agree with you 110%, Rob. If that was ever the case, I would say then I don't think this is going to work anymore. The sponsorship is not about me pandering to you. The sponsorship is about me showcasing for you. That's how I approach it. Adrian, anything of the idea come up like that where you felt the need to, hey, I'm going to talk about this, and if you have a problem, then we have a problem?
Yeah, actually, that comes up from time to time. I work with 5-Star Hookah directly, and Alex is a great guy. He's pretty up about what products are good, what's bad. He tends to be somewhat selective, at least for the newer products that he stocks. He tends to be a little bit selective on what he stocks. So I haven't had any problems directly with him, but I have had companies approach me. I don't think I'm going to name any right now. That's not exactly what I try to do. But I have had companies approach me being like, hey, we want you to review this product. And I'm like, hey, I review products. That sounds like a sweet idea. I'll review the product. And then they tell me, like, before they even send the product, they want to send me this message that reads somewhere along the lines of, okay, but you can't say anything negative about the product when you go to do the review. And just like with you, they wanted me to let them know, like a summary on how I was going to word it. And I'm like, dude, that's not hookah reviewing. That's hookah lying. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, that's why you shouldn't partner with anybody who makes subpar products, because you're going to run into that problem every time, because they don't want to partner with you, so you'll release bad reviews. So typically when a company has to preface their sponsorship deal with, hey, you got to say good stuff, that means to me that they know there's something wrong with the product. Yeah. And then you just got to hurt that. There's no way you can deal with that.
Yeah, one reason, and I think you bring up a good point, don't deal with a company or a product that you know is going to be subpar in a way. In full disclosure, I'm the one that originally approached Mia. And the reason why I approached Mia when I was getting back into doing reviews and stuff was partly because I like Mia hookahs. I've smoked the QT, the Bambino before. Like, I used to own a lot of Mia hookahs, and I enjoyed their products. So that's why I wanted to work with Mia. I was like, oh, you know what? I like this product. I had a stuff that I used to do with them in the past a little bit, not doing stuff for them, but I enjoyed their product enough that I wanted to contact them and talk with them and see if there was something that could be done from that, basically. Yeah, I mean, in full disclosure, like me and Rob, that's the stuff that me and you have talked about in the past. We've talked about, like, Matt, I don't think Mia is a good product. You've said that. I want to say you may have called them trash. I don't know.
I probably did. That sounds right.
Which is no problem at all. The one thing I like about hookahs let me know what you guys think about this. Is hookahs are so much more aesthetically to the person. You know, most hookahs are going to work good for the most part. So when it comes to buying a hookah, you should really get the stuff that you like to smoke with or you like to look at, right? Like you like the aviator stem, right? I'm not a huge fan of the look of the aviator stem. I agree, like for $80, I wouldn't mind having it in my collection. But like you said, for 170, not worth getting. So I wouldn't want to look at that for $170. But there are other pipes like the Carbon 1 hookah. I think that thing is sick. I love that.
I do too.
And to me, it matches my modern aesthetic style that I like a lot. So I wanted this hookah, right? So that was for me the kind of hookah. But there have been people I've talked to. They're like, I don't like the look. I don't like the look of the Carbon 1 stem. Awesome. Don't get it. There's other hookahs for the price range you're looking at that you should look into. Regal's a great example of this. Regal is an expensive hookah that you've got to drop good money for to get. Is it worth that money? If you like the way it looks, it's worth that money. The same thing, honestly, could be said about the Mason Bowl in a lot of ways, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with stone bowls.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get away with spending no more than $100 per pipe that you want to pick up and have nothing but awesome sessions for your entire smoking career. And that's fine. That's just fine. I just think a lot of us hit a certain point where we're like, okay, hookahs are sweet. I'm going to collect these things. I want some pipes that like kind of pop out at you, like the Initiate. To me, that's a pipe that's just like, oh shit, what is that? You know what I mean? So
I think so. Let's see. We got Gus. Gus is in here. He says, I feel like Mia gets dunked on a lot. And looking at the kind of stuff that they post on Facebook page and personal profiles, it looks like a lot of the kind of stuff you gloss over in the hookah shop. Yeah, I think Mia, they put out so much stuff too. It's easy to, I'll be the first person to say it's easy to dislike Mia hookahs. And the reason why is because the stuff that they do is, I think a good way, and you've said it before, Rob, is it seems shady. It's not wrong. It's like the wrong sort of influence that they want to put out. I think a good comparison would be like Sahara Smoke, right? Sahara Smoke had a pretty negative image of themselves for quite a while. They did the Assassin hookah, and then what was that other one? Oh, the Executive hookah. Yeah, and the Stone Bowl. You know, they did a lot of positive things. They were building up momentum, and then sadly, it looked like a lot of people started to have problems with those hookahs down the line.
Mine rusted.
Which wasn't supposed to be the case, right? Like it was supposed to be a brass hookah, exactly. So once again, we now fall away from the good graces that they were building, and it falls fast. And Mia does the same thing when they release a product that is subpar. I hope that they are going on the uptrend, especially with some of the stuff that they're posting, like the hoses that they're doing. I have the Mia HMD that I'm still working with and messing around with, their new hookah stuff that they're doing as well. But I'll be the first person to say it. If you don't like Mia hookahs, I don't blame you. I'm not surprised by that idea. Let me talk to you about them now and see if we can talk about what it is you don't like about them, only for the fact that I have a lot of experience with them.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, you know, like I was telling you earlier, it's all preferences. Like, even if I don't like Maya, if you guys like Mia, I always say it wrong. Yeah, if you guys like that, that's fine. You know, if it's the hookah that you like, perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't have like a tobacco or anything. Or here's something that we can say without unequivocal bias in any capacity in any way. Their bowls are garbage. Absolute, total, complete, utter garbage. Nobody use a Mia bowl for any reason in any capacity at all.
Yeah, I remember some guy was commenting on your channel, like every other video was like, Matt, can you show me how to pack? So I started to comment under all your videos and be like, Matt, can you show me how to pack it?
Yeah, you know what? Looking back at it, I wish I would have just said, "I'll tell you exactly how to pack it. Just get a different bowl, guy. Just get a different bowl." You know,
Egyptian clay bowl. They're like $4. You know.
There you go. Yes, just get an Egyptian bowl. There you go. You'll have a better pack instantaneously.
That's a video we need to do. Something on Egyptian clay bowls, because I have a collection of just Egyptian clay bowls because they're awesome.
That's a fantastic thing to collect.
Yeah.
Gus also says it's definitely all about goodwill. I would have said that a lot of hookah companies are pretty immature in respect to sometimes. I think that happens every once in a while where goodwill can end because somebody loses their temper in a very, very way. You know, and it sucks to see. Hopefully it gets seen less and less. Hey guys, I'm sorry that the show's running so late, by the way. We obviously started just a tad bit late as well, but I do want to get to some more of the end of our topic discussion. If you guys have anything else in the comments to say, please also point them out as well. But I want to talk about informing the customer, which we talked about a little bit when we talked about what it means to be a reviewer for us. But where does the line draw for you guys at informing the customer and then being true to yourself?
Well, I've had a lot of like kind of shitty products. Like I did a lot of Cloud9 reviews. They sent me like 10 flavors, and you know, I did the ones positive that I did like, and I was upfront like, hey, this is gonna last like an hour and a half. Same with Al Waha, when I was buying that and reviewing that, I'm like, it's gonna last like an hour and a half. If that's what you guys like to smoke, perfect for me. I like longer lasting tobaccos, but as a beginner brand, I can't say anything bad about it.
That's a great way to put it, honestly. When it comes to informing customers and being true to yourself, I think we have to separate it sometimes and say, I like this. Like for me, Al Waha, and I try to say that in some of my reviews for Al Waha too, especially the one where I talked about the brown as a whole. I say, I like this. I like that I smoked this for 1 hour. I really, really do. If you want to smoke longer, that makes sense to me. I understand that. Yep. For me, the smoke that I get for the hour and a half session I have is awesome. And I like that. Adrian, what about yourself?
I think one of the first steps that you need to take if you're going to be doing reviews on any sort of a consistent basis is you need to be kind of self-aware of what you like, and that just because you're into a certain type of session or a certain type of flavor profile, that doesn't mean that everyone else is. For instance, I just did a review, it was a month back, on Trifecta's P3, and it got a positive review because I think it hit all the notes it was supposed to. However, I hate P3. I think it's one of the worst flavors ever. And it's because I can't stand candy flavors. If I wasn't a reviewer, I said it before, I would just smoke Tangiers. Like, I would just smoke Tangiers forever and always. But being a reviewer, it's kind of our job to be like, okay, here's a new product. We're going to tell you about it. So I guess if I could add my 2 cents, it's just, be self-aware. If you're thinking about picking up reviewing or you're already a reviewer, just know what you like and understand that just because you're really into lemon mint flavor profiles doesn't mean that everyone else is going to be. And me, I hate artificial lemon mints, but that's primarily what the lemon mints in the flavor, the market are. So you got to be like, hey, this is a candied lemon mint, but I understand that this is a community favorite. So, get Ugly's lemon mint, get Trifecta's blonde ugly lemon mint. It's awesome.
I think that's honestly, I think that's a great way to put the idea of putting the customer before yourself, which I think is something I think we all try to do that pretty well. And I can't think of a time where I've noticed anybody of good, reputable reviews ever doing that in a negative light, I guess would be the best way to put it. I do notice myself tending to get, and we talked about hype, obviously, tending to get excited about really good flavors that I like. Like, for instance, P3. For me, P3 was a great flavor. So it didn't occur to me that some people may not like this kind of candy flavor, because to me it was exactly what I wanted, but I do think that it does need to be said things like, you know what, I don't like this, but you are probably gonna love it. And that's what I think Adrian does so good in your reviews, is you do such a good job of isolating me and then talking about a customer. And I appreciate that a ton when I watch your stuff. So
thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. I think what you just said, the perfect way to bounce off of that is the reviewing is not insanely difficult to get into. And if you get into it for the right reasons, I feel like it's purely just a good thing. So Matt hates P3. I love P3. I have no fucking clue how Rob feels about P3. But everyone. Yeah, see, there we go. It's perfect.
We're all over.
So if you feel like doing reviews, do it just because you're a person who's not doing reviews. And you're going to have a different palate, and there's going to be people who identify with your palate more than they might identify with mine, or either of these guys, or Zach, or whoever. I think at this point, it's the more the merrier. The more different people who are into different flavor profiles or have bias towards a certain way that they set up a session, I think that's just awesome to have different reviewers that like different shit.
Yeah. I think we're dwindling down. I think we had a really good conversation about all these different topics that I really wanted to hit on the head, and I appreciate it so very much. Rob, I can't say this enough. It's been an absolute pleasure to finally sit down and talk with you a little bit. It's been something on my to-do list for far too long, man. It's been
same here, man.
Man, absolute pleasure. We didn't get to talk a whole lot before the show started just because of technical reasons, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, just talking to you, Rob, you know, don't worry about the podcast or anything like that, obviously. I love your reviews and your content that you put out so very much. I love the fact that you get so much love and hype, that you're an admin on one of the places that I love to frequent on Facebook, because you keep this stuff to me so well grounded. And I appreciate that so much as someone who watches reviews on a pretty regular basis. I mean, all the people that I have subscribed to and stuff like that, I watch those when new reviews come out. And when you come out with a new review, money. I'm always excited.
Christmas. Yeah. I'll just say this is like I love doing this podcast because I'm kicking some stuff off my bucket list, because I've been watching you for like a year before I even thought about starting to review. And I watch your stuff like to get an idea of like, how the hell am I going to do this? So this is awesome for me too, because it's like a year ago I was like, man, that Rob guy's pretty fucking cool. And now you're on the podcast. I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool.
It's definitely a trip, knowing like guys like Adrian are just now coming up, you know, for lack of a better term, and they're looking to guys like me and Matt as examples on how you should run channels. You know, when I was doing that years ago, when me and Matt both started, like, how should I go about this? So it's crazy that it's come full circle. It really is. Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else to see, if there's anything in the comments real quick. The truth comes out. Here I am thinking, why am I the only one who doesn't like P3? You got someone. Jessica's right there with you. Not a big fan of P3.
What up, Jessica? I got you.
Gus says, it's always good when Rob pops up with a new review, instant share on the page. Oh, Gus, I don't know if you know this. He is the guy that runs Michigan Hookah. The page.
Oh, that's him?
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, he shares my stuff like all the time. I was always wondering who that guy is. I'm
That's
like,
him. That's the guy.
Thanks for being a fan. I just don't know who you are, you know?
Yes, it's Gus. And he also shares your stuff. I don't know if, do you have Twitter, Rob?
I don't. I have one. I don't use it.
He shares your
You
stuff
got an
on
Instagram though.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
he
on
has
Instagram all the time.
A good one. It's a good Instagram. Go to that one and look at the pictures. They're nice pictures.
Every time I put a bowl in front of a flavor and I fill the bowl up, I call it a Rob shot. That's what
That's what it is.
That's what I'm aiming for, is a Rob shot.
I post a setup like once a week, and it's just all bowl pictures all the time.
Exactly. It's perfect.
I use those as reference though, because if my bowl went really well, it's like, okay, well, this is the density that I did, and this is what I did with it. So that's where my Instagram evolved from.
That's a perfect stuff that I definitely enjoy watching a ton. Once again, Rob, you have no idea. Very thankful that you're able to come onto the show. We wanted to have you. I think legit, you were probably the very first name that came up when we were first doing the podcast. And we're like, we need to do guests. Who do we get? And Rob, you were right there at the very top of the list for sure. We're going to go ahead and end the show now. You can find me on Twitter at @OnlyMattDezen. You can find me all over the Facebook hookah groups and stuff like that as well. Just my name is Matt, obviously. And you can find me there just lurking and talking and saying things to try and get people riled up sometimes. And I don't do that.
Check out Only Matt Dezen. Only Matt Dezen.
No one else.
Yes, no one else is there. That's why it's just me.
Fucking lonely.
I don't rile people. I try not to rile people.
No, not at all, man. No.
I joke. And then Adrian, where can we find you, man?
Yeah, really quickly. If you want to find me on the YouTubes, I am Pipe Dream Hookah, all one word. If you want to find me on the Instagram, I have a subpar Instagram page compared to Rob over here. You can find me at _Pipe Dream, same as Twitter. And while I've got the microphone for a moment, I'm going to say something not podcast related to Gus, because you're near me. I am doing an event at the Starbucks Retail Lounge. I'm going to hit you up soon because I want to smoke with you. So if you can make it out, we should do that. But Rob, where can we find you on the internet?
On the Instagram, as you guys keep putting it, DudeWhere'sMyHookah. You can also follow the Hookah Heroes page. Those are all my photos as well. YouTube, DudeWhere'sMyHookah. And
yes.
Obviously Facebook. I'm all over Facebook.
Yes. Without saying too many of them, what are some of the Facebook groups that you're a part of? I'm a part of the Hookah Lounge, Hookah Unbiased, Hookah Enthusiast. I'll let you guys figure that one out. And then I'm also a part of like Hookah John's Circle of Friends, and all the different hookah groups up there as well. You guys up to any that maybe we don't know about? Something we should,
I'm like your Tobacco Dat Hookah group. Hayes has a group. I'm in that group. That's like it for like the ones that actually post, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot that are just
obviously Hookah Unbiased, Hookah Lounge, Hookah Enthusiast, you know.
Gus says one more thing. He says, throw it up on an event page so I can share it around too. Let me know later. So Gus, get a hold of, or Adrian, get a hold of Gus. One of you two.
I'm gonna have to do that. Gus is the best.
Yes.
Thank you, Gus.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, everyone in the chat and all the viewers that stuck around and watched this this wonderful show. Tristan, I want to know later on how your session is still going with your Phoenix, and I'll hit you up later as well, and hopefully talk to you and hear some more thoughts. And then you two, I will be talking to both of you about the Phoenix because I want to talk more in-depth stuff about that with you guys as well. And I think that's about it. You know, until next time, guys, keep on smoking. See you later.